I'd like to give all glory and praise and honor unto the Most High. And, today we're going to be talking about, choosing wisdom first. And, over the past few videos that I've been doing, I've been showing you that people, that we thought, was for us was actually against us, through the signs and symbolism. A lot of these guys are sold out. They had us in deception. They were given to us by, people that wants to see us stagnant. And these guys have sold us out, man. And mostly it's more than likely it's hatred to their, they hate their own people, but it's more so, for the bag, for money, and that's what they after. But the Most High says choose wisdom first, man. Let wisdom be the principal thing. And we're gonna get into a few scriptures real quick, man. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing, man. Get wisdom first. So this is what we're supposed to be seeking after first, because the Most High said we are already rich, and we're gonna get into that, even in our poverty. Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, man. So I underline, but thou art rich, man. What does that mean? Rich in spirit, rich in wisdom. It's not talking about worldly riches, man. The Most High said, look, man, we know that you're poor. This is talking about the ones that didn't sell out. We know the tribulation that you're going to, but you're rich. Rich in that wisdom, man. Knowing the truth. That's the real wisdom right there. That's the real riches. And the Most High says that, man. So those guys that chose the bag, over wisdom, they sold out. Look, man, they still poor in the eyes of the Most High, man. Because even with all that money, you still have the oppressor raiding down over them, bossing them around. Handlers tell them what to do this and do that. And you see that a lot of them are still depressed, Somebody like a big artist like Prince would still put slave on his face, So you see, it's better to choose wisdom over the riches, man. Because like the Most I said, look, man, you rich already, even in your poverty. It's not talking about worldly riches, man. Let's keep going. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 5. If wisdom be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom that worketh all things, man? So like I was saying, like the Most I was saying, It's just, this is Solomon speaking right here. If you desire, for riches, if you desire for money, get the wisdom, man. And this is something that, we don't do, man. A lot of people, they want to chase the bag first. Get the bag. But you see, these guys, when they get into these situations, they have to do unreasonable and wicked things, man. To get that money. The scripture says, he that is hasty to be rich shall not be innocent, man. But if you desire the wisdom of the Most High first, look, man, that's better than all. That supersedes everything, man. So if it's riches that you want, get the wisdom of the Most High, man. And when you acquire that, that's gonna block you from everything. That's gonna block you from doing all those things that those men have to do to get those riches. And then when they get it, they still committing suicide. These are not wise men. Let's keep going. Right here, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 7. And this is still talking about wisdom. And if a man love righteousness, her labors are virtues. For she teacheth temperance, keeping you cool, You mean? Keep your cool. In the face of adversity. Prudence, hey, able to see, look forth into the future and see like, hey, hey, I'm not gonna go that way because that way leads to destruction. Justice, man. Justice. Hey, we're not condemning the righteous, man. This is what wisdom is gonna give you. Fortitude. You're able to endure through pain. Having the courage to keep going while you're suffering. This is what that wisdom of the Most High is going to give you, which are such things as men can have, nothing more profitable in their life, man. So the guys that don't have the wisdom of the Most High, look, they don't care about no justice, man. They're not going to endure. They're not going to have that fortitude to endure. When long suffering when tribulation comes upon them, man. They're not gonna be able to keep their temperance out here, or when they face with a difficult task, man. They're gonna snap. They're gonna be bugged out all over the place, man. Ready to fight. Everybody that comes across them that does them something. These are the things that wisdom's gonna teach you, man. Temperance, prudence, justice, fortitude, man. What man is not going to want to have that, man? And then when you look at people that don't have this wisdom, you see them, they always getting locked up. They always committing the same mistakes over and over again. Look at the industry. Are these niggas that have all this money? They going to jail over the same crime over and over again. They're not learning from their mistakes. Still hanging around a bunch of people toting guns and this and that. It's not wise, man. Because the Most High only loves people that dwells with wisdom. Let's take a look at that. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7:28. For God loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom, man. Let wisdom be the principal thing. And this is like, and I kind of did a video on this already. This is why the Most High didn't like Esau. Why? Because he didn't have wisdom, man. He was a carnal man. Jacob was a man that's, was into the word. Esau was, in the fields doing whatever you want, Jacob was studying that word. That's why the Most High hated Esau too. Not only because he was wicked, but because he didn't have the wisdom of the Most High. He rejected that wisdom. The Most High loves people that dwell with wisdom, man. And not worldly wisdom. The wisdom of the Most High. This is why he says, if you reject, the knowledge, you can't be no priest with me. You can't be no priest. You can't have no ruling position, in my kingdom, man. Because if you reject this knowledge, if you reject this wisdom, he said, I'm going to reject you. The Most High loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom, man. So, like the Most High says, for those guys that didn't sell out already, you already rich, man. You already rich. It's nothing. It's nothing for the Most High. Money ain't nothing to the Most High, man. He's not looking at you. When he looks at you and you studying this word and you filled with this word, man, he's looking at you like you got rubies, or a bag of rubies walking around with you, man. Your spiritual bank account. Like that joint is filled up with the most precious stones and stuff, man. That's the real riches he's telling you, man. Because in the end, who's wiser? That person that had all the money in the world and laughed at those saints, that was going through turmoil, and when you get to the end, in the afterlife, and he's in torment, and the person that had the wisdom of Most High is sitting down in peace, you tell me which one is wiser out of those two. Exactly, and that's what it's about. It's about figuring it out. The right path in the end. It ain't about money. It ain't about how much records you sell. How popular you are. It's about where you sitting at the end of the road. It's going to determine how wise you are. So they may laugh at you and they may say, he, ha, ha, this guy's dumb. Look at what they're always reading his Bible, things like that. But at the end of the day, you mean that person that's going to be sitting with the Most High is going to be wiser than that person that's going to be not at the end of the day, man. You know what I mean? That person that went through all that tribulation, you know what I mean? And he said with the Most High is wiser than that person that had all that, you know what I mean? That carnal knowledge and carnal wisdom in the world, and they was loved by the world. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. Hey, Ecclesiasticus chapter 11:21. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. You see that? Money ain't nothing to the Most High. He said, look, man, that's nothing to me, man. And this right here goes to show you that the things that we care about, like, so much, money, it's nothing. I mean, anything is easy for the Most High, but, like, he's showing you, like, look, it's nothing to make a man rich. You know what I mean? It's nothing for the Most High to make a man rich, But he knew Satan was going to do that, in this world. Use money as a pedestal. That's why he said, look, man, it's going to be easier for a camel to go through the, easy for the camel to enter into the kingdom of heaven than a rich man. And I can't think about that. A camel is an unclean animal, too. So he said, look, it's going to be way easier, for a camel to get in than a rich man. I mean, why? Because they have to continue to do unreasonable and wicked things. And they put their trust in that money. That's their God. That money is their God, not the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High is not against you being rich. And we're gonna show you that. I mean, he's not against you having money. But look, if you're making that your solution for everything, look, man, that's basically your God, and that's what he's against, man. Let's keep going. 2 Chronicles chapter 1-3. And the Most High said to Solomon, because this was in thine heart, and thou hast not asked for riches, wealth, or honor, or the life of thine enemies, neither yet hast asked long life, but hast asked wisdom and knowledge for thyself, that thou mayest judge my people, over whom I made thee king. Wisdom and knowledge is granted to thee, and I will give thee riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had that have been before. Thee neither shall there any after thee have the like. So you see, Solomon asked for wisdom, and what the Most High do? And after that, he added to him riches, man. It was nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah, he asked for the wisdom first. That was the true goal. He's telling you. The money came after. Like, look, here, you could just have that with it too. But the true gold, the true riches was in the wisdom, man. Knowing what's going on. Hey, when those plagues started coming through Egypt, those Israelites could discern the times. They knew what was going on. They knew the prophecies, man. Those other people that was standing around that didn't have the wisdom, they started seeing their kids dying. They started seeing their livestock dying. Turmoil coming through. They was running around like chickens with their head cut off. They didn't know what was going on, man. So when you have the wisdom of the Most High, you could discern the times, discern the prophecies. You'll be at peace, man. You know what I mean? Other people that don't have it, they still gonna be putting their trust in man. Putting their trust in money, seeking after vain things that's gonna profit them nothing at the end. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Those that had the wisdom, man, could discern the times, man. They knew when judgment was upon the earth. They knew when judgment was upon people, man. Let wisdom be the principal thing, man. Come on. You see, Proverbs 1:22, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. So, you have people that profess to be wise, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's a worldly wisdom out here, you know what I mean? And it's the wisdom of the Most High. And right here, 2 Timothy 3-7, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. So you see, you got these people that have all these degrees, they have all these, these credentials, but when you speak to them about, certain matters, You know, let's just say, for example, we tell them that the earth is a fixed foundation. I mean, no, they'll bring that worldly wisdom to you, man. And and you see people like a lot of people like this. They don't want nothing to do with the Bible. They don't want nothing to do with the scriptures. Why? Because in this world, they're wise. They're wise to people in this world. You know what I'm saying? They get up and they speak, and everybody listens to them, man, because they got their so-called credentials. But a servant of the Most High will come and say, "No, this, and the third," and we're accounted as fools. Our life is accounted as nothing, man. So they're ever learning, but they're never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. And like I said before, at the end of the day, that person that you laughed at and you mocked at, when he's sitting down with the Most High, and you sitting on the other side, just like the story with Abraham's bosom. Just that story with Abraham's bosom. The poor guy was on the side, at rest in Abraham's bosom, and the other guy was in torment. Now you tell me which one of those two was wiser. You tell me which one of those two was wiser. And that's what it boils down to. Who was wiser in the end? Let wisdom be the principal thing, man. And like you see, those guys that sold out, they chose the bag over wisdom, man. And like I said, that's why they still being bossed around. That's why they still unhappy. Let's take a look at this clip right here. And you see, that's why you got a nigga like Terry Crews, a big strong nigga like Terry Crews. One of them, remember when he said one of those little Hollywood producers or whatever, movie makers came and grabbed his junk, and he was too scared to do something because he wanted to keep his job in Hollywood. Terry Crews is muscle on top of muscle, and he like 6'5", and he's talking about he's scared. Because he sold out for that bag, man. Let's take a look at this clip right here, and this is showing you, I don't even know how to explain it, but like, this guy, he pretty much had money. And the other guy, he was like, "Hey, I'm not gonna let that money control me." You know what I'm saying? I don't care who you are, man.
Looks like you need a ride, huh?
We'll give you a ride.
How the hell did Miranda Tate get the inside track on the Wayne board? She been meeting with him? She been sleeping with him?
Not that we know of.
Clearly you don't know much of anything, do you? Where's Bane?
Oh, we told him it was urgent.
Oh, where is that man?
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
What the hell is going on?
Our plan is proceeding as expected.
Oh, really? Do I look like I'm running Wayne Enterprises right now? You're hit on the stock exchange. It didn't work, my friend. And now you have my construction crews going around the city at 24 hours a day. How exactly is that supposed to help my company absorb Wayne's?
Leave us.
No, you stay here. I'm in charge.
Do you feel in charge?
I've paid you a small fortune.
This gives you power over me?
What is this?
Your money and infrastructure have been important. Till now.
What are you?
I've Gotham's reckoning. Here to end the borrowed time you've all been living on.
You're evil.
I'm necessary evil.
No.
So you see right here, man, that's like Judah, They letting the money control them, when in reality, hey, they're that lion, they're that bear with the power, you know what I'm saying? But they don't realize it. That's all the sellouts of our nation, man. And a lot of these people, they look, that sold out. Like I said, some of these people hate us, man. And I'm gonna show you that. First Maccabees chapter 11:21. Then came ungodly persons who hated their own people. Who hated their own people. Went unto the king and told him that Jonathan besieged the tower. So this is book of the Maccabees. Hey, Jonathan was giving them hell, man. You already know. You had the sellouts. I mean, ain't nothing new under the sun. Same thing going on today. Same thing going on there. You had the sellouts. I mean, hey, they like it also says in the book of Maccabees that they couldn't stand it, endure. You know what I mean? And when they were under their own people, they had much sorrow. So they went and made a covenant with the other nations. They hated their own. I mean, to afflict them. It was sellouts of our nations back then. And that's who. These people that I've been showing you over the past, few days, a lot of them are like that, you know what I mean? They really hate you, and a lot of them, hey, they just sell out for the bag, you know what I mean? Like, to hell with it. So, I mean, and that's still translated as hate for me, you know what I mean? Real talk. And, ungodly persons, and then they got to do ungodly things, to maintain that money. And then when they get under these people, these people are bossing them around and making fun of them. You know what I mean? So these are you could say this is like the black boule. You know what I mean? Who hated their own people, man. They didn't want to endure. You know what I mean? Long suffering. So they chose the bag over real riches and wisdom, man. So with that being said, hopefully this was edified, man, and I'd like to give all praise and honor to the Most High, man. Let wisdom be the principal thing. You know what I mean?